Hello everyone and welcome to Life Lessons Inside of Movies. For this episode, I thought I'd be talking to you guys about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And this movie was actually a really good movie. I really genuinely enjoyed it. Now, the first 20 minutes of it started out kind of slow and I was kind of already like, okay, get to the point of it. What's the purpose of this movie? Come on, let's go. But when it ended, it left a really good taste in my mouth. Now, obviously, if you guys even seen the trailer to this movie, the big central life lesson is in order to find yourself, you have to lose yourself. And the whole movie is kind of predicated on that one life lesson. But just to give you guys a quick recap of the movie, spoiler warning, just to be safe. So this movie's about, Walter Mitty. And he works at Life magazine. He punches the clock 9 to 5. He has a mom that heavily relies on him, but he still loves. And he has a sister that's really outgoing. So he basically goes to work, finds out that his job is going to be no more. They're getting rid of Life magazine, but they're only going to publish one more issue. So he ends up getting the film from Sean O'Connor, which is the guy that takes the photography. And he tells him, this is my best work ever. Get photo number 25. That's the photo I want. But 25's not in there. So his boss is pressuring him, where's the photo at? What's going on? Through another series of events, Walter decides, I need to go find this guy. I need to figure out where the photo went. So he gets on a plane, travels to Greenland, Iceland. I forgot where exactly it was. But then through another series of events, it shows his adventure. He comes back. His boss finds him again, tells him, where's the photo? He says, I don't have it. His boss fires him right there. So he kind of quits. But then through another series of events, he gets inspired again. So he goes out, finds Sean O'Connor. He ends up going through some mountain terrain. He goes to Iraq, goes through some mountain terrains, meets some people, and he ends up finding him. So then he tells him, where's the photograph at? He says it was inside of the wallet the entire time. And so he was like, well, I threw the wallet away. But as he comes back home, his mom ends up finding the wallet, gives it to him, takes the photograph, goes back to the guy and tells him, basically, here's the picture. Comes back another 2 days later to get his check. And spoiler warning, guys, realistically, spoiler warning. If you have not seen this movie, do not listen to this part. Because this part, in my opinion, is what basically made the movie for me. He goes to see the magazine that's been published. And it's a picture of him working at Life magazine. And the way the movie designed it, whatever the structure was, it was so perfectly done. And I absolutely love that ending. And like I said, I think that's what made the movie for me. But there's a lot of life lessons in this one. But like I said, it's all kind of predicated around in order to find yourself, you have to lose yourself. But let me just start off with number one. Number one life lesson that I realized, which was daydreaming. In the very beginning, Walter daydreams a lot. And we've all had that happen to us where we just sit there and our mind completely wanders. But one thing that kind of made the movie a little bit weird in that sense is it shows how weird some of our daydreams can get. But not here to judge because we've all had some weird daydreams. The whole point to it is that if you do not find something that stimulates you, if you don't find something that motivates you, you cannot fool yourself. Your brain will mentally check out. And that goes from our jobs, that goes from our everyday life, that if we're doing something that we're not excited about, we will find a way to check out and daydream of something that is a better life, that is a better version of what we are living right now. So if you catch yourself daydreaming quite a bit, maybe you're not living the life you should be living. And you can't fool yourself either, because daydreaming, it's a subconscious tool that it lets you know when you're not happy or when you're not completely engaged with what's in front of you right now. Number two, this is a lesson in a lot of movies, not just, it's in Disney movies, action movies, there's so many different movies. But the lesson is you have to jump. There are two moments in this movie where Walter has to get on the airplane when he kind of figures out, okay, I'm going to go find Sean O'Connor. And there's another there's another scene where he has to get on an airplane, he has to get onto a helicopter. And it's those moments where he has to make a decision right now. There's no tomorrow. There's no, maybe when they come back. It's, I have to go now. And it's another lesson that when you feel like something needs to be done, when there's an opportunity in front of you, sometimes you just have to jump and you have to go for it. Now, number three, this is a lesson that spoke out to me at least. I'm not going to say it was plain view sight in the movie. I really had to think about this, and I was literally sitting down like, this is the lesson I'm getting from the movie, but nowhere it talked about it. And basically what it is that when we live our lives, we're collecting in data, we're collecting in information. Our lives are predicated around what we're doing every single day. So it's where we wake up, it's our house, it's our cars, it's our family, it's the people that we interact with, it's our job. And we begin to understand life from that perspective. We begin to get our life lessons, our understanding about how the world works from a very small portion of what we're actually experiencing. So the whole point to this is that when you travel, when you meet new people, when you get to understand different cultures, when you learn a new language, not because you just want to learn it, but because you're forced to learn it, to learn how to communicate with people. When you study people that have different beliefs, different values, when you wake up in a different climate, you realize how broad the world actually is. You realize how big and how fulfilling the world actually is. So when you come back to your life, what you deem life at least, you realize how small your problems are. You realize how puny everything is to where maybe it won't scare you as much. Maybe you have a boss that really terrifies you, but if you conquer your fear of flying, all of a sudden that boss seems like nothing to you now. Guys, I hope you guys are following what I'm saying right there. Now, number 4. Sometimes the answer is right in front of you. Walter goes on this big journey. He gets on multiple airplanes, flies across continents, all to find out that the picture he was looking for was in his wallet the entire time. This is a great metaphor for life in the sense of the answer we long for or the person that we want to be is already inside of us. The only thing that we have to do, though, is go on this journey to find it. It's like, yes, it's inside of us, but we got to go through obstacles. We got to go through trials. We got to go through tribulations just to find out what the answer actually is. Number 5 is, okay, I don't know if this is a generation problem or if this is just the way human beings are designed in general. But the one thing that I notice is that, especially for my generation, we're constantly trying to find the next Instagram-worthy post, I could say. To where, yes, we're engaged with something right now, and yes, it's fun. We're with friends, we're with family. But it's, okay, what's going to be the next thing? Hey, we're having fun right now, but we got to do this again next week. We got to get together. Sometimes you have to enjoy the moment for what it is. And this movie does a real good job of showing it to where Sean O'Connor, he's a photographer. That's his job, to take pictures. But he's out there trying to find, he calls it the ghost cat. And he's trying to find the ghost cat. He has his camera ready. But as the cat comes out, he's so awe-inspired that he doesn't take the picture. He says, why don't you take, Walter tells him, why don't you take the picture? He's like, when I appreciate a moment like this one, I don't. I just try to stay in the moment. So when you find something, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be a sunset. It could be a sunrise. It could be your kids laughing. It could be you're walking and you just feel the fresh, cool breeze. Appreciate the moment. Because realistically, we don't know how many of those moments we're going to get. Number 6. And this one, I don't know if it was a life lesson, but it really, really stuck out to me. So in the movie, Walter's boss kind of tells him something, kind of makes fun of him. Walter doesn't say anything in the beginning of the movie. In the middle of the movie, Walter says something back, but it was out of anger, it was out of frustration. It was just trying to get it out there, trying to make a point. And then the boss basically claps back, puts him back in his place. But at the very end of it, Walter was calm. Walter was collective. It wasn't necessarily that he was trying to belittle him. He was trying to make a point, which was, we know this is your job, but there are people here that believed in their job. They believed in the model of what Life magazine was. And it's clear that you don't. And it's one of those parts of the movie where maybe you don't have to be angry. Maybe you don't always have to create a clapback, I don't know, out of spite. But maybe if you just try to make your point, you try to be calm and collective, that's the best way to move your message. Number 7. And this one is what really like I said, I think this is what made the movie for me, which was, again, at the very end of it, Walter finds out that his picture is on Life magazine. Even though Walter was doing a job that you could say he liked, but it wasn't stimulating him. There was nothing about his life that was awesome, that kept him engaged with it. He still did it the best he knew how. He still affected the people around him. Everyone thought that he was an awesome person. So this also goes to show that no matter what you are doing in your life, even if it's something that you absolutely hate, do it the best way you know how. Because you will affect somebody's life. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to say, well, when I get the money, I'll put 100% in. When I get the car, when I get the girlfriend, when I get the boyfriend, when I get the job, when I start that business, then I will fully engage myself. No. When you commit 100% of yourself, no matter what it is, you will affect somebody's life. And lastly, apparently before we die, we have to try a piece of clementine cake. Because clementine cake was all over this movie. And at the very end of the movie, I ran downstairs because I was craving a piece of cake at the end of it. So lastly, before you die, you got to try a piece of clementine cake. So yeah, those are my life lessons inside of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Like I said, it was a really good movie. And I hope after listening to this, you guys actually go back and watch this movie again. And hopefully you guys can find your own life lessons in the movie. If you do, hit me up on Twitter at ChristianG7752. And remember, guys, not all movies were meant to entertain us. Some were made to teach us. So until next time, thank you guys for listening.